This podcast contains strong language and discussions about relationships, sex, and love. It may not be suitable for younger listeners. This is the Can't Keep My Mouth Shut podcast, and I am Nick Selena. Hello, everyone. Nick Selena, your favorite podcaster, back with another episode. Yay! Yay for us! This episode came to me because, honestly, I get asked this a lot. So I figured if everyone's sliding into my DMs and asking, then I might as well just address it publicly. Ironically, it's called Want to know what it's like having your private life in the public eye? Everyone always says to me, how do you deal with that? Everyone knows your business. You don't have a private life. And it's like, I guess I can see the intrigue from people. And I don't mean just strangers in DMs. I mean like my friends, family, like gatherings, when people are like, how do you deal with it? And if I get interviewed, that's quite a prolific question as well. So I recently got interviewed for a publication here about the boundaries between my fans and myself and the healthy, like, parasocial part of it. So, like, how fans feel like they know me or cross certain boundaries that they shouldn't. And yeah, it was a very interesting interview. I won't say any more because I don't want to ruin it when it comes out. But it also got me thinking, right? Like, these are big questions. And I just take it on the chin, as per. And I'm going to explain why. So, for me, it's always about me, isn't it? My fucking podcast. Do what I want. For me, I have done this world since 2011. I'm so old. Oh, I bet some of you fucking born in 2011. Don't tell me you are. It will only upset me. 2011 is when I started Sex and London City, right? So that was my London website blog. And I wrote about my dates. And I wrote with such candid, funny, witty, right? I'm hilarious. Brutal honesty from both sides. You know, like I wouldn't just rip guys a new arsehole. I would also embarrass myself. I wrote about stuff that happened. I remember one, like, example, the broke broker. Oh, yeah, I dated a broke broker. Long story. I don't think he was a broker at all. That's funny, you know, and I call it the broke broker. Or the guy with the Marilyn tattoo was a tattoo artist that I dated. Then the follow-up one. What goes around comes around. Anyway, so my features were, you know, fun. So very quickly in that period, first year, I got signed to an agency and I was a big deal. I'm not being arrogant and I'm not going to downplay it. I was a big deal in London back then. I started winning a shit ton of awards as the best relationships, best sex and love writer in the UK. And so I've always had that privacy element taken away from me by myself. Like, don't get this twisted. I know what I'm doing. No one's asked me to do that. No one said, you know that fucking awful date you went on? Write it down, right? All of my own choice. I appreciate all of my own doing, okay? But it's always been that way. And I never felt a problem with it. I would write stuff like, it wouldn't just be my private life, you know, like funny incidences with my fiance at the time. I was engaged at 21. Or, you know, the boss stuff, the 50 Shades stuff. So I'd like write clippets about that, but I'd also write about bigger things. And it's very similar to this podcast. So I'd write about, like, in a world of consumerism, is there shelf space for love? One of my favourite pieces, that. And nothing's changed. If anything, it's got worse. These are all live, by the way. You can find all of these features still on www.nickselena.com. It's Nixalina, nickselena.com. So I wrote about really intriguing stuff. I wrote about funny stuff. I wrote about desperately fucking sad stuff. And I mean, like, I don't want to be a bitch, but I am such a good writer. If I want someone to cry, you're going to cry. That's my desperately sad. I wrote pieces that people would message me and like, I wasn't prepared for that. I was going to cry. I'm like, yeah, I know. So it's always been that way. This was, 20, I started 21 to 23. 23, I launched it. 23 to 36, I've always had that part of my life public. Did I ever expect to have a global podcast? No. Has it taken it way next level? 110% yes. Okay. So for instance, in Singapore, obviously, I will, if I go out, whatever, like I went out at F1, someone will come up to me and go, oh my God, I listened to your cheating episode. I'm so sorry. I went through the same thing. I've just met this person, complete fucking stranger, and they know everything. I'm like, wow. But it's always a positive connection. It's always positive. And this is one of the things I said in that interview I referenced earlier, is that none of my fans or followers cross that boundary, I don't think. Not yet, touch wood. You know, I do go out, I go out for meals or whatever, and then a few people, like, sporadically happen. They'll turn up, they want a selfie, they want an autograph, right? But they don't then, like, linger around. They're not mean, they're not disrespectful. They know where I am because they've seen it on Instagram. They come, we have a photo together, we talk briefly, I sign something for them, and then they respectfully leave. You know, I've never had any issues with having that private life in the public eye in that way. I know if I did, I'd probably need to reevaluate my content because it would scare the crap out of me. But yeah, I'm okay about it. And also, I'm deeply okay with sharing such private stuff because very early on, from writing Sex and London City, I saw how much it helped. And that's the crux of it. I hate the word influencer, right? I'm going to do another fucking episode on that. It won't be an episode. It'll be a rant. Incoming. I hate the word influencer because I don't want to influence anyone. That to me, I hate that word. I don't want to influence shit. Don't buy something just because I'm wearing it. Don't do something just because I said do it. No. I want to help. I want to help someone. And my stuff, the things I would write about and the vulnerability I have with my private life helps people. And that's when I realized I couldn't stop doing what I do. I spoke about it in a previous episode in the last season, but I even have counselors and therapists. I had an email from a therapist saying someone went and got therapy because they listened to my podcast. So they wanted to thank me. Like, what? I was fucking mind blown. Someone out there went and got help and healed themselves because they listened to me. That's the shit I live for. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I wake up for every day. So if I put my private life out there in the public eye and it helps you all, here for it. I ain't got nothing but positivity. Yay! Shh, crowd goes wild. Woo, yay! I love my little mini sound bites. Shh, that's lots of hands clapping, not waves. Yeah, it's great. And because I've only known that from 23 onwards, it doesn't faze me at all. If, like, I don't know, say I went now at age of 36, breakdown, imminent breakdown. If at 36 someone went up to me and went, do you want to write about your failed fiancé? Do you want to write about that twat you were with for 5 years? Why don't you do a podcast on that guy that fucked you up? I would be like, no, thank you. Bye-bye. You know? If you come to me now, it's all I've known. All I've known. And what I realised very quickly, especially when I launched the podcast, shout out to Splice Studios for finding me and listening to me, my annoying shit. What I swiftly found out is the amount of people that need to hear it, that need the guidance, that need the help. And listen, who wants to, this is the way I put it. Do I want to go to a historian and say, tell me about World War One? Someone who studied World War One, you tell me exactly what it was like. Or do I want to go to a soldier who served and survived World War One, who is sitting there with reality, personal experience and tales to tell? Do I want to go to him and say, please tell me about World War One? Who the fuck do I actually want to listen to? Of course it's the person who's lived it, right? Because it's real. Because it's not sugar-coated. Because it's relatable, you know? I don't want the historian studying it. They will give me an overbrief. Sure, I'll have an understanding, but it will not compare in a million years to those stories that soldier's going to tell me. That's how I think about it. So yes, because I have been narcissistically abused, I have been physically, domestically abused, because I have had funny tales. I've done some shit myself. I've dated model, I've done a lot. Then, yeah, you want to hear it from the person who's done it, right? That's how I see it. Will I always put my private life in the public eye? It's another thing you asked me. Good question. Probably yes. People, what are you going to do when you get married and have a baby? Well, the same shit. I'll probably do more podcasts on married life because it's like a journey, right? I was doing very different content when I was happy, when I was not saying I'm not happy, but when I was in a relationship and then engaged, and then I'm thinking about weddings, and then I'm thinking about breakups, and then I'm thinking about narcissists, and then I'm thinking about cluster Bs, and then I'm thinking about finding happiness, then I'm thinking about dating again, and then I'm thinking about having great sex again. So then I'll meet someone, think about that. Then I'll think about marriage. Do you know what I mean? It's a complete journey. So yes, I will still do the same shit. You want to know about labour? Tune in for that episode when that happens. And will you want to listen to someone talk about labour, really brutally honest, or do you want to go to a book and read about it? See? Do you know what I mean? Can't stop, won't stop. Does it ever get me down? Yes. How do I deal with that? I come off socials for a bit and I take a hiatus, which I've done very recently. Mercury did go back into retrograde, so might have something to do with that. In fact, I don't know. What's the date today? Oh, we're just out. Yeah, it finished on the 14th of May. But I got so overwhelmed. I was like, nah, off. And I have moments like that, maybe I'd say at least twice a year, where I realise I'm fucking spent. And the way I describe it is that I'm pouring from an empty cup, right? So I have lots of people message, I listen to this podcast, and please don't stop. Please don't stop. I love you all. It's what I'm here for. But there gets to a point, if I'm not healthy, say I'm ill, I've had the flu for about a year. That's how it feels. I've had the flu for a whole fucking year. It just don't stop. And it ain't COVID. I was like, take a COVID test. No, this feels worse. At least COVID fucked off after 4 days. So when I'm ill, I'm emotionally like, oh, no, please, I want cuddles and head pats. And then I've got everyone messaging me. I'm like, I can't cope. I don't have enough energy to even make myself a fucking drink or eat food, let alone get my ass to work, let alone reply to all these DMs. And, and I honestly, I do it all free of charge. I don't make any money out of the help. And I don't want to. I may have to get to there at some point where I have to set up some sort of online consultation. And I have really thought about that. And it's coming, because I know you've asked me about that as well. But at the moment, it's just I'm there for what everyone needs. And it's a lot. It does become a lot, yes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I know that sounds shit. because I always ask you guys to come to me and I don't want you to stop. But there are moments where I do need to pull back for my own health, my own energy. And I recognize it. And like very recently, I went, right, coming off socials, not doing any podcasts for a couple of weeks. I'm just going to live. And it helped so much. Oh, so much. Which is why I'm now able to come back to the studio. You know, we're kicking off season 7 and I feel so rejuvenated. So I think that's the main downfall of having my private life in the public eye is that energy spend that I was never prepared for that. But it doesn't take me much to recuperate. And I withdraw guilt-free, by the way, whenever I have to. I never feel guilty if I have to do that. I don't go, oh my God, I've not done a podcast for 3 weeks. I'm like, I don't care. Don't care. I don't know, a lot of content creators do have that guilt, but I've lost it. I had it, like I said, in my 20s, and now I'm like, nah, I come first. So that's the main thing. Is it weird to have people know my life? Yes, but I'm used to it, right? That's what I keep coming back to. It's always been that way. I don't know any different. Does it fuck up my dating life? Absolutely. Because guys listen. But I won't not be any other way. So my girlfriends were like, this was a while ago. Like, if you meet someone, like, maybe you shouldn't say about your podcast, maybe. And I'm like, no, because the person that I meet needs to fucking embrace it all. Not only embrace it all, be proud. Like, yo, you did that by yourself. Like, fucking great. Yeah, like, my missus is a global podcaster. That's what I want. I don't want to downplay myself anymore because it scares someone off. If it scares him off, he hasn't got a fucking pair of balls big enough for me anyway. Let's call a spade a spade. If it bothers you that much, don't come into my space because we are not going to vibe, darling. I need giant pair of balls, huge, massive. A massive dicks. Yeah, great. Put that, yeah. Big. Just big. I need big. But yeah, digressed then, didn't I? I don't want to, I can't know my private life. No, I don't want that. Someone has to really come into my energy and be like, fire, that's my girl. Also, I do keep a modicum of privacy for myself. And I think people don't understand that either. Like, I don't know if you've seen, probably, but like I went to Bali for my birthday. Obviously, there was a guy there. None of you know who he is. No one knows about him. No one knows I actually like met him a year ago. Yeah. Met in inverted commas, long story. But yeah, he's been in my life for a year. Didn't know that, did ya? Uh-huh. Oh, fuck, now you do. It's not private. Oh, life, irony. But yeah, so I give out what I think I want to give out at the time. If I wanted to not put that Bali shit up and keep him private, I would have. But he's very chill. I am very chill. It's a very chill. Chill. So I did. But then I was like, what? Who the fuck is him? I'm like, yeah, because I have a private life. And that's something that I've really learned to craft. Yeah, I'd say in the last year. Is I don't give everything of myself. I give it when I want to give it. And it's really helped. I got to be honest, it's totally helped me as well. It doesn't mean I hide stuff. It doesn't I'm pretty honest, but if I want to talk to someone for a whole year and never put him on a podcast, I will do that. So yeah. And this is the same thing when I say, like, when I used to go on dates, guys are like, I don't want to be a podcast episode. I'm like, bro, chill your fucking beans. Firstly, why do you think you're going to impact me that much that you're going to be an episode? Right? That's strong. Secondly, I'm not dating you to get podcast content, am I? I'm dating you because I want to date you. It's that fucking simple. I'm not that much of a loser that I date fucking guys for content. No, the content comes because you become an arsehole. You get me? You're an arsehole, then you become an episode. And breathe. Okay, I've ranted. This turned out into a rant, didn't it? It wasn't supposed to be a rant, but I love that. For 20 minutes now. You get the gist. Baseline, I'm cool with it. I release what I want to release. I've always had a private life in the public eye, so I'm fine. Nobody has crossed the boundary yet where it's scary. Nobody has put me in danger. I feel very safe with my fans and followers, which I love, by the way. And I am so happy to always be there for you when you need me, because it's part and parcel of my job now. And all it takes is a couple of weeks here or there, once or twice a year, for me to just withdraw, refill my cup up, and then I can crack on pouring it into yours. So yeah, I'm good. I'm happy that you all think you know me. It makes me feel very warm and fuzzy inside when you do come up to me, when you do talk to me, when you do message me. It does give me the feel-good feels, so please don't stop. And yeah, knowing that I help people on the level that I do is it's what I wake up for. Oh, that and my cats. I wake up for them because they're hungry and crying loudly. And on that note, this is the end of this episode. I cannot wait to see you all next week. Feel free, as always, to come follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Nixalina, Nixalina. Thanks for listening to the Can't Keep My Mouth Shut podcast. Produced and hosted by me, Nixalina, and recorded in the Splice Cast Studios in Singapore. I'm available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and all major podcast listening apps. Do subscribe to enjoy a new episode every Monday evening. Please do give me a 5-star review. It helps other people also find my podcast. For more content and features to read, you can check out my website, nixalina.com. That's nixalina.com. I'm also on social media. Simply search at Nixalina, Nixalina, to find me. Don't be shy. Come say hi.